So, are you starting something new? Or are you on the way to start something new? Very good. On this date, 31st of January, 16 years ago, I quit my job at a large telecommunication company. I was having quite a good job. I was working for some 10 years together with international management team. I was dealing with process management, organizational change, strategy development, business planning. And we did quite a good job changing our company. And occasionally, I was invited to share our experiences to other organizations and companies. I was also asked to do some training course or also give some short consulting. And one day I decided I will establish my own consulting business. So 31st of January was my last day, working day at Telecom. Beginning of February, I was very excited. I had even 2 potential customers who were waiting when I will have enough time to turn to their projects and to their organizations. So I did some paperwork, I get some computers done, telephones done, some web page set up, business cards printed out. So that's usually when in new business you need to do these things. One day, I got a call from my customer number 1 saying, "Hello, Maris, you know, there are some important issues are rising up in our company. We need to postpone our project." Okay, it happened. Thank you. After a few days more, my second customer called, almost with the same message. "So sorry, Maris, there is some problems arising. We have to sort them out, and so I will call you later." You know how it sounds, so I will call you later. Yeah, so basically, by end of the February, I didn't have customers, I didn't have projects. I had February with no income. Good, I had some saving hidden away. So that was my first month in being independent entrepreneur. On 6th of March, my customer number 1 called. "Hi, Maris, by the way, we have sorted out our problems. Can we meet next week and start to work on our project?" Okay, good news. I was back in business. After some time, second customer also called, and so I had already 2 projects to work with. If I put my feelings and emotions over that time on a graph, probably we could end up with graph. So I started with quite a lot of optimism, doing some homeworks, preparation works, and then call 1 and call 2nd, and my emotions get in pit. So a little bit of frustration, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit maybe afraid, maybe thinking, so shall I do something different? But when I got my projects back, that I was again happy, up and running, and now I'm 16 years already in that business. So my observation from this, my short experience is that pit happen. Pits happen. Whenever you start something new, at some point of time you will get in pit. Maybe someone don't like this diagram because whenever we are in school or graduating university, everyone is promising, no, you have all doors open for you. You know? So probably we are in textbooks and training courses, we have seen these diagrams when your revenues are coming up, how you are achieving market share, how you are getting all customers, so very happy pictures. And so these diagrams with pit, we used to skip them. However, if we dig around and look in other information, we can find some diagrams and charts where is some pit. If you look on technology hype cycles, so every new technology comes with some optimism and high promises, and then you suddenly find out that it's probably too expensive or too dangerous or not stable. So technologies gets also in some downfall, and only after maybe a few years or some longer time, so they become commercially viable, that so they can be used for benefit or for development. Learning pit, so probably you have heard that, so it takes 21 days to get new skill. And so during this 21 days, you have to work hard and time by time feel some discomfort. Also for team development, there is even like phases defined when you're forming team and then storming, and then you had some problems and you have to rearrange something, and only then you turn to performing team. So basically, so there bits happen. So if bits happen all around, my second conclusion would be, don't take these bits personally. It's not necessarily your fault or your problem that you with your idea or with your project get in some stress or disappointment or in anxiety. Don't take those bits personally. So they happen all around. Okay, if you are ready to wait for pit or expect a pit, then a good question is when it will be. So can I plan my future and expect so when I will have pit in my new project or in my life, in my new university or in my new job or in my new city where I start to live? I started to ask my colleagues, my friends, my customers also, what about their experience? And they also started to give different answers. Someone was saying, yes, already from the first day of project, I have so much stress. Someone was referring just like to the very end of the project or when time to deliver deliverables, so just before deadlines. Others were mentioning that probably in the mid of the project. Someone was mentioning after 1 month. Someone was mentioning after 5 weeks or 6 weeks. Someone even mentioned that story from the Bible that it takes 40 days to take people out from desert. 40 days, that's like an interesting number. So someone has thought about this, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 40 days. By the way, I was counting also that from my 31st of January till this 13th of March when I had back meeting with customers, there was 14 days between. Yeah? So I started to use these 14 days as so probably that's the time when you go through the pit or you experience some difficulties or you experience some stress. So therefore, my third advice or next advice from today would be expect a pit. And if you don't have any better estimate or any better assumption when to expect your first pit or first problems, think about these 40 days. Or 1 month, or 1.5 months. But don't wait till the end of the project. Or don't wait for these 5 years when you will achieve whatever, graduate your university or will be big in your business. So think about this first month or 40 days or something like that. Expect. I have spent quite a lot of time in projects, being project manager, and I have participated in different projects. And usually project is a tool or project is a way how to bring change to company or to create some new product or create new technology or change processes. So basically, if we take any project, probably we could draft up such type of the project plan. We have 10 tasks to be completed by 3 months or by 6 months time or by 1 year time. And if you are a professional project manager, or if you have a team of people who are working together, you are setting up some regular team meetings. You can decide to set team meeting once a week or once per 2 weeks, but at least you have on the course of the project some team meetings. If you are working in organization and that's basically project for organization, or you have some sponsor or someone who is hiring you as a project manager, they also would like to see progress of your project and invite you to the board with report. Or if your project is so big and so important, probably project board can be set up for your project. And of course, project managers don't like very much reporting to the board. Okay, so when we will do some proper progress, then we will go and say somewhere in the middle of the project, so 1 report, by the end of the project, 2nd report, and so very finally, so thank you very much, everything is done fine. But if we expect that something will happen in your project, it could happen that in 1 month's time or in 1.5 months, in your project, you will find out exactly such things that you cannot complete that project in original way. Maybe you need to change some person in your team. Maybe you need to change some solution. Maybe you need to find more money to do some task or find more time. So if your first report to the board meeting will be, so there, boss, we have problems in our project. So you cannot explain anymore, don't take it personally, it happens. Yeah? So if you are working in the projects, so probably I suggest, so organize reporting and supervision in a such way that you have regular board meetings. Even make first board meeting or first report. Yes, we have started today very good project and we are okay. On the second board meeting after 2 weeks, you will report, yes, we have done task number 1 and we have started task number 2 and 3. Good, you are working. On third board meeting, after 4 weeks, you will find out, so, oh, we have found some interesting things, probably we need to be resolved them at the next board meeting. And so when you come with your project to your board, to your director, to your sponsor, to your whatever customer, in meeting number 4, they trust you. They have seen that you have been working, you have delivered some progress, and whenever you have issues, those are valid and relevant issues. So therefore, if you are project manager, I also would say, put a bit in your plan. Maybe don't show that the board that so you are planning for some difficulties, but at least if you are working in your team, expect that there will be some time when you need to change something in your schedule, change something in team, change in budget, or ask your sponsors or your bosses for some important decision. So that's my next suggestion. So basically, if you are starting something new, then is a question to be or not to be, or to pit or not to pit. Yeah. Can we avoid pit? I would say no. Something will happen. We don't know what will happen. I don't know what will happen. Maybe that something will happen outside of your control or outside of your sphere of influence. Can you overcome that pit? Maybe yes, you can start to work on that. Shall you plan for pit? I would suggest yes. It's better to plan, that you have some difficulties and some problems, and then you will address them. So that's basically, think about it. So when you start something new, think about pit. When we come to lessons and suggestions from this short story, I could make a list. 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe I will add some number 5, but I would rather to rearrange this list in 5 steps. I will rearrange them in like 5 consequential steps, and I would say, step number 1, just accept. It happens. Pits happen. It happens to everyone. It will probably happen to your project also. Second step, don't take it personally. Don't take these pits personally. There are a lot of things outside our control. When we start project, we don't know all the information. We don't know what will be prices in market, what will be our partners will be doing, how our team members will behave. So there is a lot of uncertainty. So don't take these pits personally. Expect it. Expect pits. If you don't have any other better estimates, expect it on day 40 or around day 40. So there was written in Bible also that for Saul it takes 40 days to find a peace after people's death. So again, 40 days. Maybe there is some knowledge or some experience behind. Plan for it. So take your project, or whenever you are preparing for final exams, or you are doing some driving courses or whatever else, yeah, plan for it. Assume that at some day you will have problem and allocate extra space or extra time, or be ready to ask for help if you need some help from external. Plan for it and put a bit in your plan. And maybe on the top of this pyramid, I would say, if you don't have pit, I would say be very careful. Maybe you have not seen something. Maybe some of your team members is hiding some valuable information from you. Maybe you will have much more problems after 1 more month or after 2 months. Okay, if it happens to you that you have a perfect project and no pits and no disappointments, you are happy. I have seen much more real projects with problems inside. So therefore, if you feel that everything is fine in your project, be careful once more. So, if you are starting something new, my suggestion, expect a pit. Okay.